Today, I'm going to talk about what nutrients you should be careful of taking as you age, especially over the age of 50. Then I'm going to talk about what nutrients you should probably take more of as you age. So let's first start with what to not take. First one on the list is iron. Our bodies do not have a good way of getting rid of excess iron. And too much iron in the body creates damage in the liver. If you were to take iron on a regular basis, that could even increase your risk of getting an infection if your immune system is low because you're giving the pathogens plenty of food. Also, when you take more iron, it depletes zinc. Really, one of the only remedies is just to donate blood to get rid of some of this iron. Now, if someone's female and they're menstruating, they're constantly getting rid of blood every month. But in any situation that someone's anemic, I would recommend to get your iron from like red meat, liver, grass-fed liver pills, or spleen extract. The next mineral we're going to talk about is calcium. Far too many people are taking too much calcium. We develop a lot of extra calcium that builds up in the arteries, and the calcium could also build up in the kidneys as well. Just think about like people that have high blood pressure. What do? They take a calcium channel blocker. Now, the other point about calcium is that I do recommend a lot of vitamin D because it's very, very important. But one of the side effects of vitamin D in higher amounts is hypercalcemia. What is that? That's too much calcium in the blood. Now, I recommend taking high doses of vitamin D3 if you have autoimmune problems or you have a lot of inflammation because we're trying to prevent too much calcium in the blood. Next vitamin on the list, vitamin A, but I'm not talking about the natural vitamin A. I'm talking about the synthetic version of vitamin A because they can become a problem, especially if you're taking them on a regular basis with the liver, as in liver damage, osteoporosis, and increase intracranial pressure. So that's like headaches. The natural version of vitamin A is totally fine. You can get that from cod liver oil, you can get it from egg yolks, get it from butter, but I would avoid taking any synthetic vitamin A. You would think sodium would be on this list, but sodium is very necessary for you to take, especially as you age. So sodium is necessary to give you energy. Following up with that, let's talk about the vitamins that you need more of as you age. There's the synthetic version of vitamin C, and then there's the natural version. In the past, I've been very much against synthetic vitamin C, but since then, I found there's definitely a time and a place for taking large amounts of vitamin C for various things. One is just to lower your histamine. So if you have this allergy attack, it seems to do wonders for that. And even one being to help with cancer. But on the flip side, I also recommend taking the vitamin C from sauerkraut would also be a good idea. All right, next vitamin on the list. This one's very, very important. This is vitamin B3 in the form of niacin. The problem with niacin, it gives you this flush. If you start off with very small amounts, like you start with 50 milligrams and slowly go to 100 milligrams, but I personally take about 500 to 1,000 milligrams of niacin every single day. Anyone over the age of 50 should do that. It's one of the only things that can increase good cholesterol. It helps to repair DNA. It helps with giving you energy. Then we get to the mineral called magnesium. Magnesium is the thing that counters this calcification problem. It keeps the calcium from building up inside the cells. Great for blood pressure, great for muscle cramps, great for energy, great for sleeping, and great for lowering your cortisol. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Vitamin D. I think most people need a lot more than they're getting. You need 10,000 IUs. I'm not going to get into the million reasons why, but if you have any thought that that's a toxic amount, just think about this. If you're going to be out in the sun for about 40 minutes, okay, you're going to get 20,000 IUs of vitamin D3. So why in the heck would 10,000 IUs be a toxic amount? The next vitamin I'm going to talk about you needing is vitamin K1. Now, vitamin K1 has the function of clotting the body. There's this false idea that people have that if I take too much K1, I'm going to get more clotting. That is false information. When you take even high doses of vitamin K1, the blood will only clot to the normal amount. It won't give you extra clotting. It's not going to create a clot or a clogged artery. They should be consuming foods that are high in vitamin K1. Dark leafy greens are loaded with vitamin K1. The last vitamin that I'm going to recommend taking is vitamin K2. It not only helps you mobilize calcium and keep calcium in the bone where it should be, but it also has other benefits too for energy to support the mitochondria.